There you have it, some of the top business we are filing for you today from our newsroom. Joining me now live in the studio, as usual, is Charles Fahuha, iBrand Senior Analyst. Mr. Charles, good morning. Many thanks for having you join us in the studio today.
Good morning. You know, it's always my pleasure being
Always a pleasure. I like that. Let's get talking now. You see some of the stories that are making rounds in the world of business today, and the first on the list is the ministerial list. The long wait, which some people say is long overdue, has finally come to a rest. And then we've seen 28 names that the Chief of Staff to the President said is the first batch of the ministerial list being sent to the Senate for confirmation. Let me start by asking, before we dive into the names now, what is your reaction to this, and how do you react to this list sent yesterday to the Senate?
Well, in the first instance, I expected so much from the current president, but looking at what his aides were now saying and the pressure he was under, I now begin to appreciate that it's not really easy for him to come up with these names. Yes, I wanted to say, okay, let me commend him that he had 60 days, but why wait till almost the deadline? You know, because if he had not brought it out yesterday or so, then it will have been a constitutional breach. And again, that tells me that the government and the handlers are also very cautious of what they are doing. They are also very cautious of what they are doing. So they need to be in line with the average Nigerian. Okay? So for me, I think, well, it has come. And we must commend the president. But my only worry is, well, just 28 names, but they gave the explanation that a second batch will come and all that. Yeah. So I think it's okay, it's fair, it's fine. The names are here.
Yeah, we've seen the names, and we'll see more of politicians compared to technocrats. And if we talk about the list of politicians that are here, it begs the question that for some of these governors that we see here, who to some extent did not really perform well. This is Nigerians talking now, not me. Not my view though. They're saying that some of these governors did not really perform well in their state. What makes the president think that these governors will actually perform well if saddled with the responsibility of managing the economic affairs, regardless of their portfolios as far as the nation is concerned? Your reaction to this?
Well, again, one will be very objective in this. Look at it. First of all, you have said some of these persons have just served their 2 term, 8 years in their states, and we did not actually even see their performance, what they have done in those states. That some of them should have just retired. But I ask myself, they are still young men, and they can still give the little they have to the nation. And like you have said, they are politicians, they worked for the president, and it's just natural that the president has to, you know, compensate those who worked for him and all that. Yes, so for me, seeing them in this cabinet, I am not surprised. We saw how they worked hard for him, and with their experiences as governors managing a state, now making them ministers, for me, it's not a bad idea. It's fine. As long as the president will be able to identify their, you know, performance area where he knows that they have this special skill.
Unique selling point,
yes. And that will come to bear in the portfolio is going to give them assign to them to handle. I wouldn't have any problem with that.
But Charles, you made mention of something very critical, and many quarters are also saying submission with what you said, and some people are saying that the names that we saw here are just people that the president wants to reward, compensate. That's the word now. Compensate for a good job well done at the 2023 polls. Should that be the case in this country?
Well, you also mentioned in your intro that there were also some technocrats there. And some of these politicians are also technocrats in their own way.
Okay.
I don't want to mention, let me mention the name. David Umahi.
David Umahi, yes. Former governor of Ebonyi State.
And already senator. You know, they say he's an engineer. And you can testify some of the things he has done in his state. Of course, I'm not singing praise to anybody. Look at the River State governor, I'm not his fan, but you can testify some of the good work he has done in that state. So one way or the other, yes, they are politicians, but they also know their honors when it comes to what they are expected to do as governors then. And now as ministers or even as a senator, I think there's nothing really wrong, you know. So when you say a technocrat, so does it mean as a technocrat, you might not have any political lining? No, for me, a politician can also be a technocrat. I can safely say I'm a politician, and at the same time, I'm a technocrat. So if the president is going to appoint me, you know, it's never late, no name from my state.
We're still expecting the second batch.
So if I'm there,
over all states.
And people saw, I'm just going to say, people saw me canvassing for APC during the election and all that, you know, and I am now in that cabinet. Will they now say I am just a politician and I am not a technocrat? So I think this distinction, fine, it is there, but for me, every person, as long as you have voted, you have your own opinion, one way or the other, you have a political lineage. Yes, I agree, the president would have gone outside, you know, like what OBJ or Obasanjo did, getting Ekenje Wela.
And also Jonathan did.
Yeah, Jonathan did, getting, what was that, the current...
Ngozi Okonjo Iweala, the DG of WTO.
Currently now. Yeah. And the current
FDM,
you know, and
additional.
Yes. I agree, yes, there must be a blend of that. And if you look at this cabinet, there is a blend. But the only problem we are having is we have seen these names
exactly
often and often and often. That is why people are complaining.
More of
but for me,
recycling.
Exactly. But for me, I don't think it's recycling. This is just the first cabinet, and let's just give him 2 years and see how it's going to play out.
Okay, before we move to the next story, now let's wrap up on this one. Now let's look at the first batch that we've seen. Okay, you did mention that these people are still young, and I believe that the youngest person among them should be Betta Edun, the former commissioner of health in Cross River State. But the president said during this electioneering period that it's going to involve the young people into his administration. Should we be looking out for young people in the second list? Because with what we are seeing here, it shows that the president is not actually matching words with action. Your reaction to this?
Well, when you say young persons, age is in the mind. Somebody have mentioned that the former commissioner in Cross River State, the Betty Edu, she's also a women's leader in APC. I would consider her a young person. Of course, I don't have details of their age. I would consider her a young person. Because for me, age is not in the numbers. It is in your outlook and how you're able to perceive something. I am also a young person. So,
well, yes, I never get old.
Exactly.
We never get old.
You know,
yeah.
It's just for you to keep, you know, upgrading yourself in terms of new skills that are coming. And also learn from the younger generation. You keep being young as long as you're updating your skills.
All right, we'll just watch out and see how things will pan out. The first batch of the ministerial nominees are going to be screened on Monday at the Senate and then wait for further confirmation. But let's see how their performance will pan out with their expertise. And then again, that is when we'll now come to conclusion to say if these people are the right choice or not. Let's move on now to the next story. We'll see here that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is telling Nigerians to persevere some more. Charles, when I saw the story, one question came to mind. For how long are we going to continue to persevere? For another 3 months, another 1 year, till we get things right? But with what is going on now, is the president truly feeling the pains of the average Nigerian?
Yes, when I also saw that story, you know, I was taken aback that looking at the realities on ground, you know, I was just a guest in another show, and you are telling people to persevere, and the realities on ground is their take home is not taking them home. The reality is there, you know. Whether you don't want to look at it, you look at your bank statement. You want to go and fill your tank. That action alone is giving you some anxiety.
Exactly.
And I call it money anxiety or financial anxiety. It can affect anybody. Maybe you used to use 10,000 to fill your tank for the whole week, and now you need to spend close to 40, 50,000 naira. And the president is telling us, let us continue to persevere.